Yo, what's up, good people? Y'all know what time it is. It's AA Sports, straight sports, no chaser. Got the super team of sports talk here with y'all. I'm one half of it, Diego Barishnikov, the Black Dominican Russian. And I'm here with my main man, my partner in crime, the 6 foot and under post-up champ. Tell him who you are.
What's good people? It's the other A and AA Sports, your boy Uncle Hate. I got pump fakes for you, all that post moves, my footwork's on point. I'm here on a Thursday night for the Picks show. What's good, homie?
And man, I can't call it. We're getting ready to jump right into week 11. It's getting people the season rolling right on along. Week 11 picks coming up. We got the Thursday night matchup. We're going to go ahead and start it off with that. You got the Tennessee Titans, Dick LeBeau coming back to Pittsburgh, Heinz Field to take on the Steelers. What you think this game going to look like tonight?
They at home, so Ben gonna ball. They're a totally different team on the road than they are at home. So I think he's going to ball since the game is at home. This could be a statement game for Tennessee. It kind of feels like it could be a welcome to the trap game. It kind of feels that way. But I'm going to take Pittsburgh either way.
Well, I'm going to take Pittsburgh as well. You had Antonio Brown and a couple other players come out this week, and voice a little concern. More, I don't know if it's more concern or more just respect. For Dick LeBeau, and they know what type of defense he runs, and they are expecting, that defense to maybe give them a few problems. So they're going to have to definitely have to strap it up and not take this team for granted. Because like you said, it could be a welcome to the trap.
I mean, Mike Tomlin did fire like a local legend. So,
hey, man, that dude like 86 years old, though, man.
Bro, he's still coaching defense. Shout out to him.
Sir. So we both taking the Steelers for tonight. I guess before we get into the rest of the picks, we should recap last week. Last week, you went 8-6 to bring your overall record to 91-56. I went 11-3 to bring my record up to 90-57. So you up one game. I was able to finally get ahead in the head-to-head matchup this week, 3-1.
I just want to tell you, you wasn't shit for conning me into taking Dallas last week.
I'm sitting there watching that game Sunday like, yep, got him.
Tyrann Mathieu would have made a whole lot of difference in that game.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's all good. You got me on that one. I got to tighten it up this week. Can't be jumping off the cliff this week.
Man, this week it's some games that I'm expecting some things to probably be a lot different on a few of these games. Right. But I needed that last week because it's getting down to crunch time here. You don't want to get too far away. So we've been running pretty much neck and neck all season. So
we call them winners either way. That's what's most important.
There you go. All right. So, because after this week, we should be close to getting over 50 games over 500.
Whew. That's fire, people.
All right, so first, get these 1 o'clock games on up out the way. We got the Detroit Lions going to Soldier Field to take on the Bears. I'm going to take Matthew Stafford and the Lions on this one. Still not liking what I'm seeing from the Bears. I expected them to beat Green Bay last week, and that didn't happen. So what you think this week going to look like? They're going to bring it back up to speed?
Nah, Detroit going to get the W. I don't feel good about the Bears either, but Detroit's going to do just enough to get it done because Chicago don't have no offense. So they'll do just enough.
Yeah, the Lions, they struggled with the Browns last week.
Right.
So, and that was at home.
Outside of a dome, too, so that might be different. This could be a trap game as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But like you said, I think at the end of the day, I don't even really put it so much on Mitch Trubisky because he is a rookie.
Right.
He don't have nobody to throw the damn ball to.
Hell no.
So there you go. Next up, we got the Jacksonville Savages going up to the formerly mentioned Cleveland Browns to take on Deshaun Kaiser and Hugh Jackson and crew. Do we need to waste much time on this?
We ain't even got to talk about who we picking because we know who we picking.
Right.
Over under 6 sacks.
Deshaun can move a little bit. I'm gonna say a little bit under.
Okay. I'm thinking right at 6.
Going right at 6?
I mean, shit, they had 10 the other week. I can't remember who they were playing. I mean, them boys are.
I think they played the Colts that week.
Oh, well, that don't.
I mean, well, I just talked about Kaiser being able to move and him not maybe taking as many. Jacoby Brissett can move; he's mobile.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of what the protection going to look like. So
either way, we're taking the Savages. But that's going to put them at 7-3, right?
If the Savages win, yeah, they'll put them at 7-3.
Boy, we didn't see that coming. They are 7-3 with Blake Bortles as their quarterback. Shout out to that defense.
For real. Got the Green Bay Packers hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are coming off of a bye week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they and they are, with the bottom of that AFC playoff picture looking very murky. Like I said, you got Buffalo sitting in the 6th spot right now, but I think they've dropped their last 2 or 3 games, at least 2. And then the teams right there behind them don't leave much to be desired as well. So Baltimore could very well make a run. I was looking at their schedule earlier today. It's a little favorable if they can get on the road, but that's going to depend on Flacco and crew. What you got?
I'm gonna take Baltimore. I feel like if they can't get the offense right in this game, then it ain't never gonna get right. Because Green Bay's defense don't scare nobody. Them corners don't, especially. So he got to get right in this game.
Right. I'm taking Baltimore as well, mostly because of the defense. And then the Packers, got Hundley back there as a backup quarterback, and then they are going to be missing. We know. Is it Alex? No, Aaron Jones is out 3 to 6 weeks after tearing his MCL or meniscus. Ty Montgomery's still battling with the rib injury. He went out of the last week's game. So you're down to your third-string running back, Jamal Williams, which he's going to get the touches. But from what I'm understanding, reading up on him, he's not very explosive. Baltimore is usually, a pretty stout defense. So I don't know if that's going to bode well for the Packers.
Is it safe to say that this Ty Montgomery running back thing just ain't worked out?
I wouldn't say that because he was being productive and doing the job when Aaron Rodgers was there. Then after Aaron Rodgers, went out.
Well,
that affected it. Then he did miss a couple games. So
I just don't think he's a 30-touch back. He needs a power back to play with him. You don't
want to hand the ball off. You don't want to hand the ball off to him 30 times, but you want to probably get him, 15 to 20, carries, maybe another 5 or 6, 7 balls in the air. That's his lane. That's his lane.
Yeah, dig that. All right, so we're both taking Baltimore.
Yeah, we're both taking Baltimore. Next up, Drew Stanton, another backup bowl. Drew Stanton and the Arizona Cardinals going to the Texans to face Frank, the Savage Boy. And,
actually, it's Drew Stanton ain't even starting. It's your boy, Gabbert.
Gabbert is starting this week. Okay. I already had picked the Texans. Knowing that, I feel even more comfortable with that pick, even though I don't really like the Texans quarterback either. I think they are going to be in a little bit better shape than Arizona.
It's a lot of backup bowls, boy, I tell you. But I'm taking the Texans as well.
Yeah, I looked it up. I know we had touched on it on Tuesday's show and last week as well. People this week, coming into this week, out of 32 teams, of course, we got 4 of them on bye. So that leaves 28 teams. Out of 28 teams playing this week, 11 of them have backup quarterbacks starting the game.
And you know what that speaks to in a lot of cases? Offensive lines ain't protected. In a lot of cases.
Yeah, that's true. Next up, another hard game to judge. Are we calling Cutler a backup? No, because he got signed late. I guess he's technically the starter. But
he was there before the game starts. I guess we can call him a starter.
Got the Dolphins hosting the Buccaneers, which I'm believing Rod Fitzpatrick is going to start again this week because they want to sit Jameis at least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Buccaneers won an ugly game last week. I don't have too much faith in the Dolphins, so I'm going to go ahead and take the Bucs.
Oh.
Even though I don't have a lot of faith in, Rod Fitzpatrick either, but they will have Mike Evans back this week.
This game isn't showing up on the schedule I pulled because I pulled this right before the season started. Where's that game in?
Well, it's saying at Dolphins. They're the home team, so we're done. Yeah, we're done with the London games.
No, they changed that up. This is supposed to be the week that Miami was on bye before the hurricane messed them up. So I didn't have it on my schedule. But point is, If it's at home, I'm gonna go ahead and take them. They got their ass whooped on Monday night. I speak a lot on here about teams having some type of pride. If they get, if Ryan Fitzpatrick whoops their ass again this week, that means them cats really done quit, cause like for real quick.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick. We look at him as
he's solid,
average, mediocre, garbage, whatever term you want to throw at him for that week. But that's the thing. Week to week, it could be different. He could be garbage like he was last week, or he can have one of them games like he did with the Jets when he was holding out for money.
Yeah.
Actually be solid. So that's why I was going to go ahead and roll with the Bucks. I just don't like what I'm seeing out of the Dolphins right now.
Well, one thing I noticed Monday night, Jay Cutler got a case of the Eli's. He ain't taking no hits if he ain't got to. Yep. He's throwing that thing to the ground or out of bounds before you touch him. So routes are not developing down there, but I'm going to still go with them because they're at home, and I got to think this is a bounce-back pride game. I could be wrong, but that defense got to show up. They didn't care Monday, it seemed like.
Yeah, they got their heart snatched from him. Next up, potentially be a very good game. LA Rams going to Minnesota to face the Vikings. In this one, two young, great defenses. Got the highest scoring team in the Rams. Some people are questioning, hey, look at some of the opponents they done played, though. Yeah, they beat a couple of good teams. You play your schedule, you play who in front of you, but at the same time, I think some of those questions are legit as far as the caliber of teams, a lot of the caliber teams that they've beaten. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and take the Vikings. I like them at home with that defense. I think they'll be able to do enough to keep the Rams from putting up 30, 40 points and be able to do enough on their own offensive side of the ball to get the job done. Look out for Jerick McKinnon to have a solid game. So I'm taking the Vikings.
I'm going to take the Rams.
I see you had the Vikings, but I noticed you just moved it. Okay, that's cool.
What do you mean? On the fence? I did.
No, I'm just fucking with you. Go ahead.
No, I'm going to take the Rams because it's indoors for one. If it was outdoors, I'd feel a type of way. But who do you think Xavier Rhodes is going to follow?
More than likely, Robert Woods.
He is the number one pretty much.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and take them. I like their kicker. I like their defense. They got a better running game than what Minnesota has going right now. But they're going to be all over Goff. I need to see if Everson Griffin's going to play. He didn't play last week. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Rams in that game.
All right. Next up, we got the Kansas City Chiefs going to the Meadowlands to play the Little Giants. I think I know who you're taking.
Bruh, did you see that report about that meeting they had on Wednesday? They said that McAdoo came in and was very harsh and told people the truth. Are you serious?
I seen the headline. I didn't even bother clicking on it to read the detail.
Oh, my God. He's so fired. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Next up, we got the Washington Redskins going to red-hot New Orleans Saints. Is it? Yeah, this game is in New Orleans. Saints coming off a big blowout win with 47-10 over Buffalo, I believe, last week on the road.
That's the way Tyrod job took.
The Saints are rolling right now. That two-headed running back monster, Kamara and Ingram, is playing good. The defense is playing solid. It looks like it's going to be a W for the Saints, if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Saints. If they go down there and beat them, that would be something interesting because that means they would have went to New Orleans and beat them and went to Seattle and beat the Seahawks. That would be interesting, but I don't see that happening.
So about the Redskins?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be. Yet they still sit at 4-5, so they'll lose into some lesser opponents.
Basically.
Let's see. Next up, we just mentioned your boy Tyrod.
He back to Tyrod now. He ain't Ty God no more.
I don't even. What's that dude's name? Nate Peterman, I think, is going to be the starting quarterback. They're going to the LA Chargers to face, the Chargers. We don't know if Phillip Rivers is going to be playing or not. I'll hit it on it Tuesday that I'm pretty unless he's in the dark room constantly for the next couple of days, I'm pretty sure he's going to play. But it's still up in the air. I don't know who the Chargers backup is if it comes to.
I have no idea. You think is it Clipboard Jesus?
Charlie Whitehurst, very possible. But
I know who it is. Old boy from Ohio State. I think Cardale Jones is their backup.
You are right. You're right.
I think they traded for him before the season started.
So I had the Chargers winning this game. Like I said, we don't know if Phillip Rivers is going to play or not. That probably would affect. No, it's not going to affect my decision making. I'm taking the Chargers either way.
I don't know nothing about this Peterman fella, so I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
I'm about to say, man, how long you gonna keep riding this Bills wagon, man? I mean,
it wasn't even that. I up until now I couldn't recall who their backup was. I figured they lean on the run game, but then you think about it, the Chargers defense actually isn't that bad. Joey Bosa's solid. They gonna pass rush the hell out this young man.
Yeah, I think Bosa's sitting on 9.5 or 10 sacks right now.
So now I'm off the bandwagon. That's
Gotcha.
That's 3 straight L's right there. Damn, I said 7-9. They're on their way to the 9 before they get to the 7.
Talking about the Bills?
Yeah.
It was looking good, man, for them to break that streak and finally get into the playoffs in the 21st century. But
what Jay said, it was all good just a week ago.
All good a week ago. Pull up the Chargers depth chart, and Cardale Jones is there, but they actually have Kellen Clemens listed as the backup.
Oh, okay, I think he used to play with Dallas last year.
Dallas, and I want to say a stint with the Jets, maybe.
Cleveland. He done played everywhere, I believe.
There you go. So we both taking the Chargers there. Next up, we got the Cincinnati Convicts or Bengals going to Denver to play the Broncos.
Tough call.
Oh, boy.
This feels like a toilet bowl, too. You know what? I take that back. This ain't a toilet bowl. This anything can jump off at any second bowl.
you got some cats that will set it off up in this game. You got Talib and the Broncos defense. You got, of course, Burfict. Pac-Man out for the year, right?
I don't know. Is he? I haven't seen much of him this year.
I know he was hurt. I can't remember whether he's out. They put him on IR or not. So he hasn't been playing the last couple of games, I know. So I'm not sure if he's going to suit up this week. But you got a lot of wild animals in this game.
Yes, sir. It's like Wild Kingdom.
You know what? I'm going to take the Broncos. At some point, I think they got to win a game. They done lost, 3 or 4 in a row. I'm looking forward to that A.J. Green Talib matchup.
He won't be. We won't hear AJ Green's name on Sunday.
So
I hear his name.
Broncos got to probably lean on the running game. Both of these teams are kind of bad right now, so it's just picking the lesser of the two. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Broncos. What you got?
I guess I'm gonna do the same thing, but what's more entertaining to me? I think both the quarterbacks are gonna throw 3 interceptions. Both of them.
Very possible. And it's not saying a lot about Andy Dalton if at this stage in his career we're still talking about him in the same likes as a Brock Osweiler. He should be a little bit above that, but he is what he is.
This is about his 4th or 5th year. He's been around for a minute.
Oh yeah. He You remember he got a contract. He's already a couple years into his contract extension.
Yeah, one of them funny money deals though. Yeah. All good. Yeah. Denver.
Both taking Denver on that. All right, next up we got the New England Patriots going to the Oakland Raiders, coming fresh off of a bye themselves. The Raiders really need this game to get right and get to 500. However, I don't see it happening. I'm taking the Patriots.
That game's in Mexico City. They said New England stayed in Denver this week to train to get prepared for Mexico City.
Right.
But I'm taking the Patriots.
They stayed in Denver to get used to the altitude. I think the altitude, wherever they playing at in Mexico City, is like 2 or 3 times the altitude that it is in Denver.
Right.
So they did that, and that was smart. Not going all the way back to Boston and then having to fly all the way back to Mexico. So that that just kind of made sense. So we're both taking the Patriots there. A week ago, this looked like a great matchup. The Sunday night game. Philadelphia Eagles going to Dallas with no Zeke. We saw what happened last week with the Cowboys with no Zeke and no Tyron Smith. Sean Lee is out. He's not that good to me anyway. But
they be kissing his ass like he's a difference maker, don't they?
But at any rate,
a Twizzler. He's made of Twizzler anyway.
Right, to be a linebacker.
Right.
You might not want to be injury prone if you're a linebacker because you're kind of required to hit people a lot. So you might not want to be injured.
Bayless has the audacity to say he's better than Luke Kuechly. Bless his heart. Mm-hmm. Even with Luke getting knocked out every 4 or 5 games, he's better than him.
And twice on Sunday. That's not even a comparison. I'm taking the Eagles.
Yeah, and a beatdown too.
Yeah,
making beatdown.
This could be an eliminated game for Dallas.
Yeah, it might be on Cancel Christmas.
Yes, sir.
Man, that's a good segment right there. Cancel Christmas.
We should probably look into having that coming up next couple weeks. Last up, Monday Night Football. We got the Atlanta Falcons coming off of a pretty convincing win over the Cowboys last week. Going to Seattle. Seattle's got a banged up secondary. They're kind of having their struggles as well on offense a little bit. But it seems it's like late in games, they find a way to get it done. I'm looking for a get-back game from the Falcons based off last year. You know, they lost that game last year. It was controversy toward the end, whether that was a pass interference on Julio or not. Against Julio or not. And with this
Sharon grabbed the hell out of him on that last play.
Yeah, he did. And, you know, with Seattle secondary being beat up, them having to rely on Jeremy Lane against somebody they tried to trade a couple of weeks ago and he didn't even pass the physical, and having to bring back a Byron Maxwell who was either at Lowe's working or on his couch. Well, you know what? He don't have to be at Lowe's because he signed a good deal in Miami.
Yeah, he got some bread.
They had to bring him back. Now, Earl Thomas, I think, should be back this week.
Yeah.
They're still uncertain about Cam Chancellor. I think he's got a neck injury. With all that said, I'm going to take the Falcons to come up there and get a win.
Oh, shit. You calling for a 2-game winning streak?
2-game win streak.
Nah. I'm going to take Seattle in this one. High scoring, though. High scoring. Julio, if Julio does not get off this game, if he does not have a boss game, something's wrong.
Yeah, that's what I said. That the secondary being banged up for Seattle, for me, is why I'm leaning toward the Falcons, because Seattle – the front four or what have you is they're not, to me, getting the pass rush that they are used to getting. Now, if you look at, you know, I look at fantasy, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, they get sacks, they get some numbers there, but in the realistic floor of the game itself, there's holes. There's a lot of holes from what I'm seeing.
I mean, we know Freeman's not playing, so Tevin Coleman should, you know, he's going to be the feature back. But I don't believe they're going to get a lot of yards on the ground. It's going to be a Matt Ryan's arm game. He's going to have to will them to that game.
It's going to have to be. Look for Austin Hooper to be an X factor. They need a duplicate performance that he had last week. They're going to need that again this week from him.
Yeah, you better do that because I picked you up in fantasy this week, so need that.
Right.
All right, I know we don't normally do this on Thursdays, but can I give out a champ?
Go ahead.
Joel Embiid. He is fastly becoming one of my favorite NBA players. He was already damn near my favorite NBA Twitter player. But people, if y'all didn't see him last night, I'm honestly trying to – what can't he do right?
It's not much. I mean, you know, he's got handle for a 7-footer. He's got a J for a 7-footer. He can step out, hit threes.
He hit free throws.
He hits free throws at a 75 or 76% clip, I believe. He can pass the ball. He's a good passer. I mean, and the footwork, oh, my God, the footwork in the post just makes my heart melt because he looks like a throwback basketball player, big man. When the big man was reigning in the 80s and 90s, he looks that part in that post.
Did you see that dream shake he threw last night?
Yeah.
Bruh. But shout out to him. I had to give him, you know, I should have gave it to Ben Simmons, too. Them boys are scary people. Markelle Fultz ain't even playing right now. They're going to be all right in Philly.
They are. And I think what this is going to probably end up doing with them playing so well, if Embiid can stay healthy, of course, that's always kind of an asterisk there. But they could very well, I mean, you can start – free agents could very start well looking at that as a landing spot.
I would all day long.
Yeah, but, especially if you're a guard. Now, they just signed I guess they finalized the deal finally, giving Robert Covington a 4-year deal worth $62 million. Solid deal. Of course, a lot of people don't know a lot about this cat because they probably haven't watched many Philly games over the last year or two, but check them out. He's a solid player. He's a solid player. And $62 million over 4 years, about $15, $16 million a year. in the old pay scale landscape of the NBA, that was probably too much. But in this pace, in this day and age, that's a pretty fair deal, I believe. He's getting about Kent Bazemore money, and he better than Baze.
Way better than Baze. I tell you what, man. Lonzo just like his confidence is just shot.
Yeah, what I see from him, what I think he needs to do, he just needs to play faster. He needs to speed up his pace and focus on the strength of his game, which is distributing that basketball. Getting other people involved. Worry about the shot and the scoring later. Maybe don't shoot as many threes right now until you can get your shot together. Drive to the hole. Get some free throw attempts. I don't see that from him.
I was just about to say that. I don't recall. It's. I guess now that I think about it, all I remember him doing at UCLA is shooting threes and catching lobs. That's it. It was much of no middle game in between there, but he has to do more than just shoot threes. I ain't gave up on him. I still like the kid, but it looks bad right now.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He just got to find his way. His confidence looked shot last night.
Right.
And it's just some debates going on out there. I heard a lot of them today about how Luke Walton is handling it. Whether because he's benched Lonzo the last 2 games for a quarter. He didn't play him at all.
Gotta win.
I mean, yeah, you got to win, but at the same time, is that going to hurt his confidence? Do you at least need to throw him out there? I was watching Skip and Shannon today, and Earl Watson was on there. And he brought up some good points about maybe not doing that because it could hurt a point guard's confidence. A point guard feeds off of that, and he just probably needs to get out there and just let it go. I think he's thinking too much about what he's doing. A lot of pressure on him. I mean, it's been a rough week or so. He's got family issues going on. Who knows how big of a factor that's playing into it? The whole family was in China. His brother locked up. Who knows what kind of mindset that is what that's doing to his mindset. And then he a Cali kid. A lot of them cats is laid back.
Easy breezy. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
I think he'll be fine. Lonzo, play your game, man. Play your game. I know you're probably reading headlines and looking at your Twitter and doing all that. Don't let that phase you, man. Just keep your head down. Keep grinding. You'll get it.
Yes, sir.
All right, people. So we're gonna get on up out of here. Got a big game tonight when we speaking of NBA. You got the Celtics and the Celtics hosting the Warriors. The game started already. I think it has.
Yeah, it's not.
All right. So got that. We're gonna finish up watching that as well as this Tennessee Titan Pittsburgh Steelers game. Hey, before we get out of here, man, tell the people where to reach you at on social media.
Reach me at Weekday6000 on Twitter. Holla at me. I talk sports.
Yes, sir. You can reach myself at Diego Barish. Also, don't forget to watch, hit that subscribe button right there. Hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up. Leave some comments for us. Let us know how we're doing. Also, catch us on the Spreaker platform. If you're on the go, in the gym or what have you, you can catch us on that app. We appreciate the love there. So, for AA Sports, straight sports, no chaser. This is the end of episode 64. Y'all have a good college football weekend. It should be pretty laid back this week.
Yeah.
We'll holler at y'all on Tuesday, man. Y'all have a good one, man. Peace.